Hello everyone! In this lesson, we will learn about user accounts in WordPress. To be more specific, here's what we're going to cover. First, we will learn how to change your author name that gets displayed on the front end of your website. After that, we will learn how to add or customize your avatar profile photo. So that way, depending on your theme, you can have a little photo of yourself appear next to all of your posts. After that, we will learn how to create new additional accounts for your friends or coworkers. So that way, your website can have multiple authors. And finally, we will work to understand the different user roles that are available in WordPress. Right? Because maybe we do want to invite a friend or coworker to help contribute to our website, but we don't want that person to have full administrative access to customize anything and everything on our website. Without further ado, let's start with our first goal, which is to learn how to change the author name that gets displayed on our posts. So, for example, here's the home page of my website, and if I navigate to the Recipes category archive, and then if I click on any of these posts, so Greek salad or homemade French bread, once I click on one of them, I'm taken to the detail screen for just that one single post. And here we can see my profile avatar photo, and more importantly, my name. Now at the moment, it reads Kitty Doe Admin, which is my username. So you can imagine that we don't want to show the visitors of our website our username here. It would make much more sense to show them our real name. So let me show you how to customize this. If we jump into the admin dashboard, and then in the left-hand sidebar, look for users. Okay, and then on this screen, we will see a list of all registered users within our website. Now, obviously, at the moment, we just have the one, my main admin account. So go ahead and click on it. And from this screen, I want to draw your attention to this name area. All right, so you can see that the username field is grayed out because we cannot change that. That's the username that you chose at the very beginning of this course, and once you choose that, it's really set in stone. However, we can input a first name, a last name, and a nickname. So let's try this out. For first name, I will say Kitty, because I'm pretending that my cat is the author of this website. For last name, I will say Doe, Kitty Doe. And for nickname, I will say Kitty the cat. Okay, and now that we've entered content for these three fields, here's the important part. Now, down here within this display name publicly as, within this field, now we can choose how we want to display our name on the front end of our website. So we can choose our username, our first name, our first and last name combined, our last name first and then our first name, or our nickname. So feel free to choose whatever you like. I'm going to choose my nickname, Kitty the cat. Okay, then just scroll down to the very bottom of this page and click the blue Update Profile button. Okay, and now that we've made that change, if I jump back to the homemade French bread blog post, or any post for that matter, perfect. Now we can see that my author name gets displayed as Kitty the cat. Okay, so we've completed our first goal. Now let's change gears and learn how to customize our avatar profile photo. So if I zoom in a bit, you can see that currently my profile photo is a cat. And you might be wondering how you can add an avatar like that to your account. I do want to stress the point that every theme is different, and I'm using the 2016 theme, which chooses to show my avatar and my author name, but depending on the theme that you're using, it might be placed in a different location or it might not be used at all. But if you're using a theme that supports avatars, let me show you how to add one. All you need to do is perform a Google search for Gravatar. Here is the official Gravatar website. It's gravatar.com. And from this website, you can create a free Gravatar account. So just like you would create a free account with services like Twitter or Facebook or Pinterest, you create an account with the Gravatar service. Now, creating and setting up your Gravatar account is very simple, very intuitive, so we don't need to walk through it together, but I do want to stress one key point. When you sign up for your Gravatar account, be sure that you use the same email address that you used for your WordPress administrator account. What I mean by that is if I jump back to my WordPress admin dashboard, and in the sidebar, if I click on users, so at the moment, you probably just have the one admin account of yours. So whatever email address you used for that account, be sure you use that same email address when you create your Gravatar account. As long as that email address lines up and matches, you don't need to do anything else. WordPress will automatically look for your email address within the Gravatar service, and it will begin pulling in your profile photo. Alright, so now you know how to associate an avatar with your user account. Feel free to pause this lesson and go create a Gravatar account right now if you'd like to. And now, let's change gears and learn how to create new user accounts within WordPress, right? Because maybe we want to invite a friend or a family member or a coworker to help us manage the website. Maybe we want multiple authors on the website. It's super easy to set up, so check this out. Let's jump back to our admin dashboard, and in the sidebar, when we hover over the users option, within this pop-out menu, we see an item named Add New. So go ahead and click on Add New, and then from this screen, we just need to fill in a bit of info about our colleague or friend or family member that we want to invite. So first, let's give them a username. In my case, since I'm acting like my cat is the main administrator of the website, I will pretend that my cat is inviting me to contribute. So for the new username account, I will say Brad, then enter the new person's email address. And you can fill out these fields, but they are not required. Now, when it comes to the password for this new account, WordPress will generate a really long, secure password for us automatically. If you want to see the password so you can keep note of it, just go ahead and click the Show Password button. Otherwise, you can just make sure that this box is checked, and then WordPress will send the new user an email with an activation link they can click, where they can immediately choose their own new password. Now, before we click this Add New User button, I want to bring your attention to this Role field, because this is perhaps the most important thing on this screen. So when I click on this field, I can choose between 5 different options: subscriber, contributor, author, editor, and administrator. Now in just a moment, I will explain what each of these 5 options means in detail. But before we jump into that, I just want to say that this field is basically just asking you the question, how much do you trust this new person that you're inviting into your WordPress? Okay, and then based on how much you trust that person or how much faith you want to place in that person, you choose a role level accordingly. So now, let's go through these options one by one. I'm actually going to go through them in the opposite order that WordPress lists them, because I think this makes more sense. So let's start with administrator. What does that mean? Well, that's basically full access and control of literally everything within your WordPress website. That's the role that your current user admin account has, right? Throughout this course, you have been the administrator, so you have full rights and privileges to change anything. Unless you really truly trust someone and they have great technical skills, I probably wouldn't grant them full administrator access. Okay, let's move on to the editor role. So an editor has permissions to create and edit any post. So they can create their own posts, they can edit and change other people's posts, and they can fully publish the content up live onto the website. Next, let's talk about the author role. So an author can create and edit their own posts, but they cannot edit any other posts that were created by other people. So an author has a little bit of independence. They can create a draft for a post, and then indeed they can also publish that post live up onto the website. But they're kind of locked into their own sandbox because they can't make changes to any other author's posts. Next, let's talk about the contributor role. A contributor can create a draft for a post, but they can't actually publish it live up onto the website for the whole world to view. So the contributor role is a great option if you want someone to help write guest posts for your website. They can sign in and create rough drafts for posts, but then it's up to an editor or an administrator to review their post and finalize it or publish it. Also, once an editor or an administrator does indeed publish a contributor's post, From that point forward, the contributor cannot make changes to it. So the contributor just creates the rough draft, and then once it gets published, it's out of their hands. At that point, it's up to the administrators and the editors to make any future changes to the article if necessary. And finally, let's talk about the subscriber role. A subscriber can't really do anything. They can't even create rough drafts for blog posts. All the subscriber can do is sign in and change their first name, last name, and nickname. That's it. You might be wondering why the subscriber role even exists. Well, it's outside the scope of this course, but when you get into more advanced things like e-commerce, or if you try to create the next big social network like Facebook, there are plugins that can help you create those sorts of things within WordPress. And in those types of cases, advanced plugin developers can do some pretty creative things with the subscriber role. But within the context of this course and what we are trying to achieve with user accounts, we don't have any real need for the subscriber role. Now that we've gone over these 5 roles, let's get back to the task at hand. So remember, I'm pretending that my cat is creating a new user account for me. And when it comes to the role, let's say that my cat says that I can be an editor. Alright, and then I will click the Add New User button. And now, from this main users screen, here's the list of all registered users, and there are now 2 of them. Now at the moment, in this web browser, I'm still logged in as KittyDoeAdmin, but just as an example, why don't I open up a new web browser and sign in as the Brad user? So here's a new browser window where I'm not signed in as anyone. We can tell that's the case because there's no black admin bar along the top. However, if I want to sign in with my new Brad account, all I need to do is go up into the address bar and add on /wp, and then I can either visit -login.php, so that would successfully take me to a login screen, or you can visit wp-admin. So adding either of those to the end of the root of your URL will do the trick. Both URLs will ask for the new username and password. So remember, my new username is Brad. And then behind the scenes, let me type in my password and then click login. Okay, so here's the admin dashboard as viewed by my Brad account. And remember, my new Brad account is not an administrator, it's an editor. And remember, of the 5 user roles, aside from administrator, editor is the next most powerful. So if we look at my left-hand sidebar, you can see that as an editor, I can create new posts, I can create new pages, and if I click on posts, I can even edit existing posts that were created by the administrator Kitty the Cat account. Now you might be wondering, what are the limitations of an editor account? Well, you'll notice that in my sidebar, I don't have a plugins option, nor do I have a settings option or an appearance option. Those are things that only administrators have access to. So that means as an editor, I can't customize the look and feel of the website. I can't change the design or the navigation menus, but I can add new content. So let's try that out right now. Let's just create a new post really quick. So I will click Add New. And let's imagine I want to create a new blog post named Chocolate Cake. For the content, I will just say Lorem Ipsum chocolate cake recipe will be placed here shortly. Check back soon. And then if I scroll down in the right-hand sidebar and look under categories, I will assign this post into the recipes category. And let's go ahead and publish this post. And now if I check out the front-facing portion of my website and click on recipes, here we see the newest post is by Brad. Here's my username and profile photo, chocolate cake. Now if we look closely, the author name uses a lowercase b for Brad. So that means it's using my username instead of my full name or nickname. So practice makes perfect. If we want to change the way this author name displays, we can just go back into the admin dashboard. In the sidebar, click on Profile instead of Users. It can be a bit confusing because administrators see the word Users in the sidebar, but editors, authors, contributors, and subscribers only see Profile. But anyways, go ahead and click on Profile. And if we scroll down a bit, you can enter in your first or last name or your nickname. So I will just change my nickname to Brad the Chef. And then under this display name publicly as field, change that to the nickname option. Then scroll down to the very bottom of this page and click Update Profile. And then if I jump back to the front-facing portion of the website and refresh, perfect. So now the author name reads Brad the Chef. And that's actually going to bring this lesson to a close. I hope this lesson encouraged you to collaborate with other people to create better and better content. Because even if you don't 100% trust someone, you can always assign their user account the contributor role, and then you will have final say as the owner of the website before anything gets truly posted onto your website for the entire world to view. There's no real limit to how many different user accounts you create, so feel free to invite and collaborate with as many people as you would like. Alright, now changing gears, in our next lesson, we will learn about a few miscellaneous but very important settings in WordPress that we can customize. It should be an eye-opening experience. Let's keep things rolling, and I will see you in the next lesson.